Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion, plays Binding of Isaac AFTERBIRTH Plus. I looked at the footage from the last episode, and apparently it didn't record any game sound, which is a known bug with OBS, so I apologize for that. Here's our seed today, is Blue Baby MTVR BLN2. It was one of those things where I went back and then looked through, I was like, oh my god. Did we have no game sound in like all of the videos that I recorded recently? But it was really just that Isaac one, so I guess I got lucky and I'll just, you know, test or open and close OBS between like literally every single video that we ever do. But that's inside baseball. The thing is, you know, I start using OBS to replace the crackle. Everybody goes, use OBS as a perfect program. Nothing wrong with it. It'll solve your crackle issue. Then you use OBS and people are like, there's no game sound. It's a known issue with OBS. Oh yeah, we all knew about that, but, you know, it's still a perfect program. I never meant to do those things to you. It might be a Windows 10 thing as well. I don't know. I'm not blaming OBS, even though it is OBS's problem. So basically, I'm saying I am blaming OBS, but I'm absolving myself of that blame, and thus making myself look like a better person in the process. Let's come in here. That was a really lucky get. I've taken a lot of bad damage. Well, I've taken 2 hits of bad damage, which is a relative lot for the start of the show here today. So I'm pretty happy that we ended up getting a little bit of HP back there to kind of absolve myself, start back at 0 here, and make a good run. I know that, well, you know what? Let's squander it immediately. I know that Brian McKnight said start back at 1, but I prefer to start at 0 because I've been, you know, working with the rays a lot. They're 0 indexed, and as a result, you can really tell that Brian McKnight, I guess we do want 2 of diamonds, not much of a computer program. And this is where somebody chimes in and goes, actually, NL, in this language, arrays are indexed at 1. And you know what? If that's the case, more power to you. I'm unaware. It's irrelevant for this purposes, for the purposes of this joke. It's like some R programmer humor stuff right there. Is like, Brian McKnight start back at 1. I don't think so. Not in the for each loop. Not on my campus anyway. Anyway, it's a big floor here. Little HP, big floor. We're looking for, obviously our item room, which we have finally found. And we'd like it to just be DPS, and it pretty much fits the bill. Our Deadeye pickup here is really, really good to work with. I Can See Forever is also nice. If we could get like an Eternal Heart, that would be fine. But to be honest with you, I'm not worried about our HP too much. Please don't be a secret room raid. Okay, good. It wasn't in the location that would have allowed us to not, nice. That would have allowed us to not go to the curse room via the front door. So I'm happy about that. We also have our second secret room, which has nothing of value, essentially. Blow that up, get a red heart. What a waste. Okay. Let's go for broke here. Deadeye is really, really, really good. Ups our damage to 7, as long as we can keep a consistent streak going here, which is working out, you know, really nicely for the time being. I think you have to miss more than once to get it to lose its maximum charge, or I don't know, maybe you have to miss and then not have a hit within the next little bit to get it, because I felt like we got a little bit of extra tolerance there that otherwise wouldn't have been common, but that was fine. And honestly, getting an extra fast rate of fire is also really good for us as well. As Blue Baby, I'm mostly not worried about stacking up Spirit Arts right now. I'm worried about getting to the point that, you know, offense is the best defense. Obviously, that's, you know, largely not true in most sports. You end up having those teams that are really awesome offensively, and then they, you know, get to the AFC Conference Championships and just tank. 2004 Kansas City Chiefs, of course, is who I'm talking about. That's right, Trent Green, Tony Gonzalez, and Priest Holmes. I'm subtweeting you. You got a problem? Could probably only name, like, I bet I could name less than 100 people who have ever been in the NFL, and all of them are from either cameos in The Longest Yard and The Waterboy, or they were on the 2004 Kansas City Chiefs, aka the team that I played as in ESPN NFL football. Rest in peace. Great game, taken from us too soon. That was the one, there was like, I hesitate to even tell this story. Not because it reflects poorly on me necessarily, but just because it makes me look like an idiot. Those ESPN NFL football games had a first-person football mode in them, where you actually played, you know, you'd be like the quarterback, but instead of seeing everything from a pulled-back perspective behind you, you'd be playing in first person. And it wasn't really the most optimal way to play the game, but it was kind of a cool novelty at the very least. And there was a fake study that I believed was real, published around that time, and it made the rounds on the internet and somehow found its way to me, where, you know, doctors supposedly were writing, and they were like, oh, we've tested, you know, the first-person football feature on all of our patients, but it's getting really spooky. Like, when they take big hits, they act as if they've gotten real pain, and bruises have started appearing on their body. And I have to be honest with you, I bought it hook, line, and sinker. Admittedly, I was like 15. Old enough to know better, but still too young to care, as Alan Jackson said, right? I don't think we really care about a bomb for a tarot card, but I might consider it. And then, you know, one of my friends, who I'm still friends with to this day, is like, he did something very classy that I remember, and I use it to inform my interactions with people to this day. I was like, dude, this is pretty serious. Like, I don't know, this could be, like, psychologically damaging to play it. And he was like, haha, yeah, good one. Me and the boys had such a laugh over your post here. That's a reference to, like, a Steven Spielberg letter he wrote when a producer suggested they do something stupid in the movie. My friend did exactly the same thing to me. Basically being like, he interpreted what I said as a joke, and as a result gave me the easiest out to be like, yeah, I was kidding. But actually in my head, I was like, nah. I believed it until that moment. I can't take it. I'm sorry, I can't take it. We should go to the shop. We could use the everything, couldn't we? Let's try this. I forget the extra context of that Steven Spielberg thing, but I believe a producer was like, you know, instead of calling the movie Back to the Future, you should call it, you know, Marty Checks In. And the producer sent the letter to Steven Spielberg, and Steven Spielberg sent a letter back that was like, I don't think Steven Spielberg did Back to the Future, but I'm conflating stories here, but something like that happened, maybe for Jurassic Park. And Steven Spielberg sent back a letter that was like, I showed your letter to everybody, and we all had a great laugh. Thanks for keeping things light and airy as production gets more stressful. It's a really, really classy way to tell someone to go F themselves, wouldn't you say? It's like, you know, you've suggested something so stupid, but I'm gonna present you with the easiest out rather than having to get in a discussion about it. Does it make Steven Spielberg sound like kind of a dick? I guess it depends whether or not you're on Steven Spielberg's side in this situation. There's also like those emails from the Sony thing, like the Sony hack from like 2014, where like the CEO or somebody that worked high up in the film department at Sony was like, you know, these kids are really into rollerblades these days. We should make a movie where like Spider-Man rollerblades. And oh my god, that could have been Spider-Man Homecoming. As much as, you know, some people love Spider-Man Homecoming, some people didn't like it at all. I'm closer to the loving side for sure. I thought it was pretty good. At least, no matter what he does in that movie, he ain't rollerblading around going like, you know, how do you do, fellow kids? So anyway, this is why we need to seize the means of production and eat the rich. Let's see. I wanted to turn this into like a modern version of like these Isaac videos. They need to reinvent themselves as YouTube has become more and more political. All of a sudden, the Isaac videos are just going to become my platform for introducing you all to my belief, which is anarcho-capitalism. That's a joke. Don't take offense to that. Oh wait, that's a real ideology. I know. That's why I used it. If I just made something up, it wouldn't have had the same punch. Can't go anywhere these days. I step on a Twitter, it's all like anime avatars talking about, you know, when the revolution rises up, you know, this is where your head's gonna go, and it's a picture of a guillotine. They're not tweeting it to me, they're usually tweeting it to, you know, like the Land O'Lakes Butter CEO or something like that. I don't understand it. We live in a very, it's tumultuous times, I suppose. Dark Bum is like a game saver for us. If I had to describe Twitter to, like, someone in 2012, I was like, well, it's a really cool place where, like, you know, anybody can say anything they want to anybody, and it's, like, a lot of fun. If I had to describe Twitter in 2017, it's like, it's a place where anybody can say anything to anybody. Stay away! Get lectured about, you know, politics and healthcare all day. I have to be, say, the person who tweeted this to me is probably watching. I'm not trying to single you out here, but I am going to use you as a sounding rod to clarify what the heck you were talking about. I paid for HBO Canada to watch Game of Thrones. I called up my cable provider, because apparently it's the year, you know, 1911, and I said, "Oh, excuse me, on the old-time talk box, could I get the HBO package, please?" So they gave me the HBO package anyway. And I tweeted about it, and I used the meme that was like, why the heck everything gotta cost money? And I got a tweet from somebody that just said, must be nice to be able to legally purchase things. And I didn't understand how to react. I always take the assumption, I actually don't cultivate very much hatred. There's YouTubers out there who cultivate hatred. I'm not saying that it's deserved or undeserved, but, you know, if you talk about controversial subjects, you're gonna get people that hate you. I talk about, you know, sandwich meta, so it doesn't matter. Whether you're fighting for the, you know, right side or the wrong side, you're always gonna have people that hate you. I still get people that, you know, I've probably got, you know, a few hundred people muted on Twitter, but that's over many, many years. And, you know, someone goes, hey, you bald idiot, how do you get out of bed in the morning? I'm just like, have a nice day, you're muted. I'm not getting into arguments. But anyway, I didn't mute this person because it's not offensive necessarily, but I just didn't understand how to react when they said, must be nice to be able to legally, you know, obtain content. I was like, yeah. Are they saying it sincerely? Because whenever, in English as a first language, whenever we say, must be nice, it's always like a little bit of an undertone of, you know, oh, I can't do that, so you consider yourself lucky, right? And then I was like, well, if it must be nice, like, is this person pirating content? And I'm not taking a stance on that necessarily, but are they pirating content but then trying to make me feel bad that I paid for it? Because I don't, because that would be ridiculous, but I found myself befuddled. I talked about the tweet with my wife and I was like, I don't understand where this is coming from. She's like, I don't either. Maybe it was actually sincere. Maybe they were saying, oh, it must be nice to be able to support content that you enjoy. In which case, yeah, I mean, $18 for a single channel. Well, it also has the movie channel, so that's nice. But I talked about that already. I mean, it feels okay. It doesn't feel like, you know, I'm a saint or anything like that. But if I'm misinterpreting what appears to be malice, where's my lucky pennies? As or what appears to be malice as what appears to be generosity as malice, then I apologize. But or what appears to be benevolence is. Anyway, the point is, I don't know what you're talking about, but I will not be shamed for legally purchasing things. I'm not bragging. Oh, it was close. I think we could be close to death here, so just dial in for a second. I'm not gonna be shamed for it. I don't think any realistic person or reasonable person would try to shame me for it either, which is why I found myself in such just a darn old conundrum about what the heck was even happening over the course of this discussion. Roasted. I can't see my HP, but I'm really happy that this guy dropped 2 red hearts. Just 1 spirit heart. It's a little bit on the cheap side, but I'll tell you what. I'm happy for it nonetheless. That means, like, he must be at most 1 red heart away from paying out again. Whether it be with Spider Blackheart or, you know, something else. Spider Blackheart, also my favorite character in Heroes of the Storm. I just love his heroic. They're not called ults in Heroes of the Storm, they're called heroics because it's totally different. It's not a MOBA, it's a character-based RPG with leveling. Let's get out of here. Yeah, arcades are meaningless to me at this point. I almost slipped into like a very, a very depressed Arnold Schwarzenegger there. Wow, we were half a spirit heart away from death, actually. Oh, now we're 1 spirit heart away from death. You know, everybody can struggle with mental health. I'm not afraid to admit it. I don't have, to the best of my knowledge at least, diagnosable mental health issues. But, you know, there are days I don't really want to record videos. There's days I don't really want to stream. I'm like, I don't really feel good today. I'd rather just, like, not do anything. For me personally, what helps is actually doing stuff and not, you know, giving into the beast. But I'm not trying to say that that's, like, a cure. But I'm sure that, like, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger gets depressed sometimes. It's probably a little bit, you know, uncouth for me to make a character of a depressed Arnold Schwarzenegger, like, I just feel like everyone is out to get me, you know? You can't even do the Arnold Schwarzenegger voice when he's not angry. I think the only way you could do that character justice is if you did, like, Mitchell and Webb style, and you minded for absurd humor first. You were like, hey, this is funny because it's Arnold Schwarzenegger, but he's not happy or energetic, he's just a little bit sad today. And then at the end, you actually tied in like a good lesson about mental health. You know, like he got better at the end. Something like that. Leave you on a good note. Wow, I'm mad. I'm actually mad. First off, one of the worst dodges I've ever seen, but still, that was pretty poor on my part. M6GM28WJ. I think I just have to accept that if I ever get an orbital, it's like the kiss of death for me lately. I'm popping off like consistent 4 wins, 1 loss, 4 wins, 1 loss, and it's honestly getting a little embarrassing, but hopefully the commentary is making up for it. And the fact that we're, you know, loading up another video. 2-1 load explode on Edward Hawthorne. Load explode on Edward Hawthorne. I see you looting. I'm not looting. Yeah, so I don't think depressed Arnold Schwarzenegger is really going to make it as a character. I'm trying, but there's got to be something. Maybe we can get like a Sylvester Stallone that has decided that he's like really into knitting or something like that. See, that subverts expectations without making anybody the butt of perhaps a joke that's a little off color. I don't know, Mickey. He also is just Rocky permanently. I never felt more alive than when I got those needles in my hand, Mickey. It's like I'm in a Philadelphia meat locker all over again, except instead of a meat locker, I'm making a sweater for people to wear in the meat locker. See, it's kind of, you know, there's a punchline to be worked on there somewhere. Wow, just walked right into that one. Like, there was that, there's a closer for the Blue Jays. And I don't follow baseball, but I thought this story was really good. That was so dumb. Really good nonetheless. He's like, I'm not going to work today because I'm, like, I have anxiety. I have an anxiety disorder, so I'm not going to work today. And I was like, that takes a lot of guts, you know? Everybody knows that we in the video game industry are all sorts of messed up, you know? Anyone that you can think of that's, like, let me put it this way. I'm on the normal side as a full-time streamer and YouTuber. And you hear me rail on about sandwiches for like 50 minutes. You know, I've got it pretty easy. 50 minutes, you know, per hour, apparently. Everybody knows that we're all sorts of messed up in our own, you know, weird and wonderful ways. But for a professional athlete to come out and be like, you know, I feel like I'm imprisoned inside of my own brain, I thought that was really bold. I thought that was a good move. And I was also very proud of the way that people reacted to it. Very few people were like, oh, I wish I could just take a mental health day off from work. Must be nice to be a professional. You should be able to take a mental health day off from work. You know, there's offices. My office didn't do this when I worked there, but it does it now. They've phased out sick days, and they've just made them, so instead of like, you have 5 sick days you can take, or 10 sick days you can take, you just get 10 days, and you don't have to tell anybody what it's for. So every year, you know, if you don't take it, I don't think you'd lose it, but you should take it. They incentivize you being like, you know, I don't feel good today, I'm not going to come in. And it's probably good, you know? I mean, maybe less so in baseball because it's not like they're going to postpone the game for you, but I bet like you're happier, you're more productive, fitter, happier, more productive. Exactly. As a result of that, I'm glad that there's been kind of like an awakening when it comes to mental health. Now, if I could just get people to start caring about their physical health and washing their dang hands when they come out of the bathroom, that's the only thing I ask. I see you looting. I see you at PAX. Toilets break down every 2 seconds. Soap canisters are still 80% full. How does it happen? Some of y'all ain't washing your hands. If you're sitting here right now and you're trying to come up with a logical argument not to wash your hands, oh, I don't want to contribute to the degradation of society's ability to fight germs by washing my hands when I... No, it's not about you, okay? I have had this discussion many times. I've even had these opinions when I was a little bit younger, but, you know, you wash your hands when you go to the bathroom. A couple of reasons. First off, make them smell good so they don't smell like pee or poop. I know you might be saying I just don't pee or poop in my hands, but yeah, this avoids it completely, you know? It's the same reason, like, I want the person making my sandwich to be wearing gloves. I don't know what's on his hands, it's just, you know, his hands are probably clean, but let's absolve him of that responsibility and necessity, right? Second reason is, I'm a young, healthy, you know, adult male, youngish anyway, come on, like, just butter me up a little bit here. I might come in contact, I mean, I won't because I stay inside almost all the time, but I might come in contact with old people, people with depressed immune systems, i.e. sick people, toddlers, you know, it's not just, I'm gonna try this, I probably shouldn't, but I'm gonna try this. It's not just for you, you know, there's a certain herd immunity. That's like saying, You know, I'm not going to get this vaccine because, you know, I'd rather just get the flu and roll with it. It's not just for you, you know. Once you have the sickness, you're also a carrier of the sickness, and you could infect other people. That's why I recommend washing your hands. And you know who needs to get this message? You're like, oh God, please tell me who in the NLSS doesn't wash their hands. No, I don't know that. If they're not washing their hands, they're not telling me, which honestly is a smart decision, because I'd kick them off a show like that till they got their dang hands clean. Shows don't change till you get up and wash your hands, buddy. We're not going to go any further than that. The entire nation of Japan. That's right, I'm going there. I'm not going to Japan anytime soon. Kate is, but I'm not. I've had my fill for the time being. Yeah, let's do it. Let's recreate this last run. Any Japanese bathroom in a public place, there's like a 95% chance they always have a sink. And I appreciate that because I'm sure the water's better than nothing. 95% chance, no soap. I see them go in. A Japanese businessman. It's a country of 150 million people. They go in, pee or poop, run a little bit of water on their hands, splash them against the sink, and then walk out, get on a train that has like 1,500 people packed into a car. I don't know if Japan, and this is being sincere, do they get mildly sick more than a country like the United States, for example? Or do they get less sick because they tend to be in, I mean, I'm not trying to insult anybody, but they tend to take care of themselves, at least from a dietary standpoint, from a better position. But, like, either way, they do, it confuses me because it's such a sanitary country. Like, when people get sick, they all wear face masks, so you don't infect anybody else. It's like, what if you did the face mask thing, which I think looks a little silly, but I understand and I think it's admirable from, like, a disease controlling sort of standpoint. But you also had soap in the bathrooms. I'm not being controversial here, I think. I'm not, I said just another example of a white guy going into the, you know, some other culture's country and telling them how to run their business. I'm just saying, washing your hands with soap is science. I love you, but just meet me halfway here. Because then it means that I don't get to use soap when I wash my hands, and then I feel like I'm responsible, like I'm being gross as a result. So I gotta start carrying around like my own hand sanitizer. That's one of those things that, like, I've talked to other expats and people who have spent a lot of time in Japan, which I would argue that I have not really, but, dude, we might lose this one, too. Never soap in the bathrooms. It's not like a, you know, wow, Japan's so backwards. I'm more like, just put the soap in the bathrooms. You guys you're doing so many things right here. Trains are wonderful. It's so clean. There's no garbage, like, anywhere. There's probably, like, a lot of garbage somewhere, but there's no garbage anywhere else. But just get some soap in the bathroom. That's all I ask. You know, it doesn't have to be Dove. It's a job creator as well, you know? Get those soap factories running at, like, 10 times production or something like that. By the way, I'm sure we do some things that when Japanese people come to North America, they go, oh my God, you guys do things so weird. Why are there forks at the sushi restaurant? This is unfathomable. I'm trying, there's gotta be some examples. My go-to example, and I'm gonna avoid just retreading the same ground over and over here, but is whenever I see a picture of barbecue and it's served with like 9 slices of white bread. I'm like, that's just, humanity's come too far to be okay with that. But then Austin tells me, oh, no barbecue places do that. And I show him a picture Sinvicta sent, and he goes, oh, no good barbecue places do that. He's taking shots at Sinvicta, hitting them sly for the C-notes. Anyway, that's my requisite NL is a bit racist bit here. I don't think it's racist to say that I'm not calling them dirty, I just wish that they had soap in the bathrooms. Although I will say, I think I've told this story once before, but it's too glorious not to tell again. I walked into a bathroom in a train station in Japan, and they have squat toilets. Not every toilet is a squat toilet, but a lot of toilets are squat toilets. If you've never seen a squat toilet, imagine Caffeine Pill from The Binding of Isaac, but about the size of, you know, like a basketball. The height is the size of a basketball, maybe. Or not the height, but, you know, the length. And the width is, you know, just to take Caffeine Pill and then stretch it along the y-axis. And then there's no seat, but there's a little bar you hang on to, and you just kind of drop your poop or pee out of your out of your bottom, and you, well, apparently I don't know how anatomy works, but, you know, you poop or pee into it, and, well, you're just kind of crouching over top of it using the bar to support you. I got no problem using those for a number 1. Doesn't bother me. In the least. Never gonna use it for a number 2. I'd rather hold it. If it's like an unbelievable emergency, I'd try, I guess, but... And then everyone always comes in and says, I read on the internet once that it's better for your colon. Yeah, I'll believe it when I hear it from a doctor. Never gone to my doctor and she says, oh, what kind of toilet do you use? That's your problem right there. Anyway. One time I walked in, and I was faced with just a bizarre ethical conundrum. Rainbow, baby. Because I walked in, and there was a poop just on the ground, and someone had stepped into it. They had basically done a waffle stomp. Now, that by itself is okay. I've seen some gross public bathrooms in my day. I've seen some weird public bathrooms. At PAX West, on the first floor, there's a public bathroom that has a huge, it's like a stall, but there's a huge hole cut out of the side of it, because I guess they have a problem with people, like, taking intravenous drugs in that bathroom. You know, not at PAX, but in downtown Seattle. And, but this is in the convention center. I'm just saying, like, I'm pretty sure it's not the PAX attendees passing out in there. But for the most part, although people do get wild sometimes. That bathroom is weird. I would not feel comfortable using it. It's like literally there's a window there where you can just look at the rest of the bathroom. You'd have to be in a dire strait to check that out. But, see, I'm getting distracted here. There was a poop on the ground and somebody had waffle stomped it. Here's what I did. I went to the bathroom. I peed. I got out of there. And I got out of there as fast as I could after washing my hands. No soap, unfortunately. But I thought to myself, like, do I even want to use this bathroom? Like, I'm cursed as soon as I step in here. Because the next person, if I get out of here and there's a person waiting to use this bathroom, they're gonna say, oh my god, that foreigner went into the bathroom, took a poop on the ground, stepped on it, and now he's leaving. Like, I'm gonna catch the secondary blame for doing this, even if I had just walked in and then, like, walked out within 2 seconds. I'm the last person who saw that bathroom without a big poop on the floor, according to, you know, if you'd asked the people that have come after me here. So I am now like the shepherd of that poop. So I never came close to it, but in my head I was like, maybe I should clean it up to absolve myself of the suspicion that it was me. And then, you know, there's a clean bathroom back here. I did not, and, you know, in hindsight, it's actually just ridiculous that I would ever have considered it. I mean, after I cleaned it up, how am I gonna wash my hands? Just with water? I don't think so, man. It's not the same. It doesn't get the oils out. So anyway, that's my story. Kate told me that when she went to Italy, and admittedly, this is like, probably like 18 years ago or something like that. I'm trying to remember. I think she told me she was like 7 or 8 when she went. She said they were near the Colosseum. I'm not trying to suggest all of Italy's like this. They were near the Colosseum, and people apparently steal the toilet paper from the bathroom, and then they try to sell it to you so that you, I mean, have toilet paper when you go poop. I would pay 25 cents a sheet for toilet paper. I'd rather not have to, but if the situation presented itself and I absolutely had to, I could see it. Can someone verify whether or not that's a true story? Because if it's a fake story, then you know, she's got some explaining to do. If she's got a real, if it's a real story, then like, man, nip that in the bud. God, you set up like a secondary, like, Steam key sales market. For toilet paper. Toilet paper that they didn't even purchase in the first place. I'm not trying to say, you know, these vagabonds shouldn't be allowed to make some money, but that's like, you're creating an artificial scarcity there. Plus, you're compromising, you're just creating more work for the laundry at that point. Because you know there's going to be, I've been on vacation with dads of all stars and stripes. There's going to be one dad eventually who's like, you know, I'd really like the toilet paper, but I'm not going to pay for it. I'm not going to buy into your racket. You know, dads are stubborn like that. He's going to pull up his pants with half a deuce still smeared on the O-ring and, you know, ruin a perfectly good pair of chinos. And I don't stand by that, because when dads are on vacation, dads should be able to let loose. They've been working all year at the paper factory. Just, oh, my wife wants to go to Italy. I can't wait to go to Italy, so at least I don't have to be at this freaking paper factory. Plus, I get to make memories with my family, and it's going to be an enjoyable time. And then all of a sudden, you know, some guy's trying to grift them in the toilet paper game. I was born at night, but not last night, good sir. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. So this is our first fight against Gish. If I'm being 100% honest, and I've said this about a few runs recently, you might start to think that this is like the NL who cried wolf. I think that this run is pretty bad. Halo's good, Pacifier's good, and I mean, just in general, let's put a blanket term there. Our rate of fire is great. Dark Bomb is also good, although we can't seem to get a luck upgrade. We're going to get a little Gish here, which is not very relevant, to be honest with you, and our damage is pretty bad. I mean, it is 7.13, but that's because we used the Devil card here. Okay, 2 Spirit Hearts is a big pickup. And Curse of the Tower is garbage. I don't think I think I have taken Curse of the Tower once on this save file. I thought I took it on a run where I was like, we might as well take it, we're going to win anyway. Which is the right approach to take for that item. That was just terrible. Okay. Okay, so what are we leveraging here to try to make a bad run a little better? Well, we have a decent number of bombs and a decent number of keys. So if we can leverage those to pick up more consumables, then maybe could lead to something good from the shop. Also, being able to dodge for like the first time in my adult life might be nice. Chemical Peel is an okay damage up. You know, half of our shots are going to deal like 8 damage now, 8.6 damage. That's not bad. Not quite dead shot, but we're still alive, so that, you know, we have a leg up in that area. We're about to leave the Dank Depths 1 as well. I think I can't. I thought about it, but I can't bring myself to bomb our donation machine. I just don't think it's like. I wouldn't feel right about it, because our donation machine is our friend. And you don't blow up your friend just to get a couple of pennies, you know? If I can give you one lesson today, it's first off, apparently if you're going to Japan and you care about cleanliness of your hands, bring your own soap. Secondly, I want you to be clean, is all I'm saying. I'm not the cleanest man in the world. I'm relatively clean, but, you know, there are times I've been blessed or cursed with the, you know, too much free testosterone or something. I don't know the genetics behind it, but I went bald when I was like 19. I'm 28 years old. I have ear hair. Don't cry for me. You know, life's still pretty good, but it is a little bit on the ridiculous side, wouldn't you say? Sometimes I come back inside after a whole day of being outside, and Kate will be like, man, your ear hair is like growing out of control. And I'm like, oh, good. I was out there thinking that I looked respectable, but I look like, you know, the weird dude from Star Wars or Star Trek Voyager. You know which one I'm talking about. Maybe he's from Deep Space Nine. I don't know. He kind of looks like a hobbit, but he's big. He's like bigger than a hobbit. He's bigger than a bread box. But I maintain a certain, like, I shower every day. Wash my hands after I go to the bathroom. Every once in a while, I like to give myself a little stink check, you know? You go, okay, we're still holding up here. It's like checking the oil in your car. People go, I don't stink. Yeah, but wouldn't you rather check? Wouldn't you rather just know? It's like, I've been to some Friday Night Magics. Believe it from me, or believe it or not, take it from me. I'm not insulting everybody that goes to Friday Night Magic. I am just saying that, by and large, there's a certain... The overall average cleanliness of the room is lower than I would like sometimes. So a lot of people there are probably like, why would I need to shower? I don't smell bad. I'm just telling you, just as a general rule. There's days when I'm like that. I'm like, I don't need to shower today. Shower anyway. Build the habit. I don't think people need this lesson for the most part. Many of you probably have your lives more in order than me. Sometimes I meet people that, you know, at conventions and stuff. They're like, oh, I love your videos. And I'm like, cool, what do you do? And they're like, oh, I'm, you know, CEO at Facebook. That's right, Mark Zuckerberg. Marty Zuck, as I call him. I like to call him that because it gets his name wrong and thus gives me social value over him because he's a big fan and I'm making him feel like garbage. So that's like that's pretty much my central ethos. We can afford to fight this guy. Why not, right? No, I've never met Mark Zuckerberg, but I do meet people. There's a little irony. One time, I thought I was being clever. This is like 5 years ago. As a younger NL. I've grown and matured a lot through the years, as most people are wont to do. I believe I met him at a PAX, and if you're watching this, you probably, at this point, think that I'm just a total dick and have stopped watching. And you know what? This is deserve it. Although it is just an offhanded comment. Anyway, the point is, I'm going to stop baiting it here. He saw me and he said, like, oh, hey, NL, you know, I'm a big fan. And I was like, cool, what do you do? And he's like, I'm a software developer. And I said, my condolences. Which I thought was just, like, kind of a pithy, like, you know, you know, that's, you know, being a software developer is real boring. It's just like Office Space. There's so much irony in that because now, I'm not doing it for sad bombs, but I did think about it. Now, I love software development for one. Software development is really fun. It's like code Lego, you know, you're building something, but you're not building it with your hands, you're building it with your brain. It's really cool. But he just kind of laughed and was like, you know, haha, yeah. Anyway, nice to meet you. I'm not saying the guy thought I was a jerk, and I don't think I necessarily come off too badly in that story. But the other part of that story is, first off, I regret saying it because, in my opinion, I was just wrong. But secondly, basically, if anyone ever tells you what they do, the worst possible reaction that you can have is like, oh, you know, that thing that you've dedicated your life to and, like, you know, 1/4 of your waking hours or 1/3 of your waking hours? Wow, what a waste. You know, it's just sort of a bad thing to do. Even if somebody's like, I work at, you know, I clean the bedpans at the hospital. If you were like, well, that's a crappy job, right? No, yeah, but maybe it's rewarding, and even if it isn't rewarding, even if they hate it, you know, they don't want to be reminded that it sucks. It's just kind of a jerk move, honestly. So this is my apology to that guy. You know, it was a long, I thought we could make it there. It was a long time ago, and I don't think he took it the wrong way, but every once in a while, I do think back to that moment. Like, once a month, I'll be like, why did I say my condolences? That's just, like, it's such a jerk move. At this point in my life, I try to take a genuine interest in, you know, what people do. Because especially if you meet someone that's passionate about what they do, even if you don't understand it at all, it's cool to talk to them and figure out, you know, what drives them. I feel like there's a good Giesling message in there. He's like the same way. Like, Dan is one of the most interested people I've ever met, and I think that's why he's so likable. One of the reasons he's so likable. And I didn't misspeak. I don't necessarily mean that Dan is one of the most interesting people I've ever met, although I think that would also fit the bill if you ever listen to him during PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. But anyway, he's one of the most interested people I've ever met. Like, he'll get in a conversation with you about something that he knows nothing about, and he really gives you the idea that he's trying to learn more about it. You know? I think he's very good socially in that way. Which is, in the Big Brother house, will get you killed. If you're on the wrong side of the geese. He can manipulate the masses, right? But in a personal, sort of like affable sort of way. It's really nice. Feel free to tell him I said that, by the way. I had no problem offering a fellow Giesling a genuine and sincere compliment like that. And I think it's virtuous. Now, if somebody went up to me and they were like, hey, NL, how you doing? And I was like, oh, cool, what do you do? And they're like, I run a YouTube channel called youtube.com/MathisGames. I would be like, oh, my condolences. Oh, man. Yeah, that anecdote hurts me because it sort of, A, reflects badly on me, and then B, also, it makes you look like you're out of touch, and I just hate when I think back to that. It's like, ugh. You know, when you have those stories where I told you, like, you know, my high school bus driver was like, have fun in college, and I was like, yeah, you too. And I was like, that accidentally made me look like a jerk. This one kind of like I was accidentally being a jerk, which is a step in a different direction. Oh my god, are we actually gonna be able to do something on this run? I'm questioning it, but also like hopeful, I suppose. And there's a level of growth there, you know. I hope there's a level of growth there as well. Maybe I don't think I've had. That's like the only interaction I've ever had that went wrong. And it wasn't even right. It's not like he said, screw you, and then walked away. It was a very pleasant interaction. But, you know, doing the post-mortem afterwards, I was like, that was not a good interaction. It's the only one like that I've ever had, and I think that's a good sign, because it's also, if it's the only one that's gone wrong, and it was my fault, that's perfect. Everybody else has been doing their jobs, you know? Been polite and affable and not weird, and that's all it takes, you know? I think, anyway. I am still a little salty that Dan didn't give me that TV he was giving away in that sponsored deal, though. I really thought I was a shoo-in. I've never heard of the company that was giving it away. It was probably for American residents only. And somebody in the comments was like, you know, oh, my boyfriend from overseas, like, we watch all your shows on Big Brother. We met on Big Brother. He proposed to me with a Big Brother-themed ring. And I was like, come on, Jennifer. You're really blowing out the field for the rest of us. Like, how am I supposed to compete with that? Telling your honest, heartfelt story. I'm just over here trying to get a free TV because I got a lot of Twitter followers and people care about my opinions on sandwiches for whatever reason. You gotta, you know, step in here with this incredibly heartfelt story about how you deserve a TV. Because, yo, I've gone through so much hardship. Whatever, do a coin flip, Jennifer. I can afford a new TV. I'd rather not have to pay for it. I'm being jerk NL now. Her story was good. As soon as you read that one, you're like, that's the one that's gonna win. But this was like 2 weeks ago at this point. By the time this video goes up, that's ancient history. I wasn't actually gunning for a new TV. To be honest, I don't think we could fit a big TV in our apartment. We've got like a... I think we have like a 36-inch TV. By the way, if you still watch TV or you use a TV to, you know, play console games or something like that, I hope you know how lucky you have it. Because when I was a kid, a big screen TV was like 32 inches. Now that's just like, oh yeah, we got like a TV, it's 32 inches. TV prices have come way down. When I was, until the age of like 10, and I remember this because it was a topic of conversation at the dining room table. Until the age of like 10, my family had a 14-inch TV. It was on the other side of the living room. And I had undiagnosed astigmatism until I was like 11 years old. So I have no idea how I got any enjoyment out of watching television. Just blurry shapes 100 yards away on, you know, a TV screen the size of a postage stamp. Then, my grandfather bought a 60-inch TV. So he gave us his 27-inch picture tube. And it was like the whole world had changed. I was like, this TV's twice as big. All this stuff in 320p is gorgeous. And nowadays, it's like, you know, these computer monitors are like, you know, 22 inches or something like that. I'm sitting an inch away from them. We got I think our TV is like 36 inches. We got it for like $200. That's absurd. I'm pretty sure that when it was like 1999, I'm gonna die. I know it. Dude, first off, where's my damage? Where's my luck? And where are my red hearts that allow Dark Bum to make spirit hearts out of them? Because I'm losing my edge. I need some support. Nothing, dude. Oh, this is bad. Oh, you gotta kill him. Okay. I'm pretty sure he probably paid like $2,500 for it now. And it's hilarious because it was not like a 60-inch flat screen. The thing was like, it took 4 dudes to move it into their house. And it was like, maybe like 2 feet deep. It had a depth to it. And then if you sat like anywhere that wasn't within like the prime 15 degrees of viewing angle, it just, you couldn't see anything. This is what technology was like back then. Still pretty good. It wasn't like the 1930s, but, you know, it was... wasn't the beautiful TV environment we live in these days. I know this is a classic NL discussion topic, is back in my day, I almost walked on that creep because it blends in so well with the ground. But really, Kate was like, let's buy a TV. This is 2014. I remember because I was like, I gotta write that in my adult progress planner. Bought first TV. That was like an investment when I was a kid. It's like, you'd make payments on your TV. I was like, oh, are we sure you're ready for this step, buying a TV? We went down to the Future Shop, rest in peace. Now it's called Best Buy, because they're owned by Best Buy. There was a TV on sale for like $200, $250. It's like, oh, we can just buy that. I'm not saying it's not a, you know, a decent chunk of change. But it's like the cost of a dental appointment. To have the future in our apartment. It's a wild world, man. It's a wildish world. It's not really that wild. We might lose, but also simultaneously win in our own unique way in this episode. You know what I mean? What I'm getting at is, I think we could beat Mom's heart. We have a chance to beat Mom's heart, and then not beat the cathedral. Like, I would like to, but I think that there's a decent chance we just can't. Even beating Mom's heart is going to be like a bit of a leap of faith here for us. I think if we get like a little bit lucky, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. And I stand by, to this very moment, the idea that, you know, this run is a little bit harder than the status quo. And I know it seems like, how many below average runs can this guy have in a row? Obviously there's some like observer bias going on or something like that, but I'm not fighting Hush, I'll tell you that much. But I sincerely believe that like the last couple of runs that we've had here have been decidedly average or below average. At 4.29 damage, I don't care what your rate of fire is. 4.29 damage is not enough unless you got soy milk to get the job done in 2017's Isaac economy here. Guppy's head, of course, is lovely. At this point, I don't know. I mean, the cathedral is... I think the cathedral is easier for the point in the game in which it is than the Womb 2 is. The difference is that we haven't gotten any better between them, so I don't know if I would bet on the side of us winning here, but I do think there's a chance. Especially if we can get like 2 spirit hearts out of that. Not gonna happen, but it's okay. Got 2.5 now with 23 bombs. I hate this. Yeah, I had that under control, and then I stood in exactly the wrong place. But come on, no small rock. 2 spiders, no big deal. We got our spirit heart back. Life's good. And we also got teleported, possibly to a much better position here. A lot of the wins that we've gotten recently, I've been, like, kind of impressed. Even though I don't think I've been playing 10 out of 10 on many of our recent runs. Honestly, dude, sorry. There's been a lot of runs that we've won by the skin of our teeth. And I always think that, like, you're entitled to take, like, at least 10 damage over any run. And the worse a run is, the more damage you're entitled to take. Maybe a bit of a harmful attitude for making progress, but... Oh, no. Nice. Okay. Play this. You got 13 cents. Try to get some spirit hearts out of it. We actually might be able to beat Isaac on this one, which would be very, very surprising to me. Hopefully there's game sound as well. Okay. We got High Priestess. It's not a great get, but it's okay for an Isaac fight. Now, the way I'm going to use High Priestess is I'm going to try to get through the second phase of Isaac by just using High Priestess once. I was hoping we'd pick up like an Empress card or something, but this works okay. Okay-ally. Okay. Smack him. Didn't quite get through the entire second phase, but that's okay. Now the hard part... Oh, that was a bad dodge we didn't get penalized for. Now the hard part is actually making sure that we can get Isaac killed, or at least to not just do... yeah, exactly what he did right there, which is multiple attacks in the same wave. So bombs are going to be useful for that. Our orbital potentially could be useful for that. The more, the merrier in terms of getting him to stand still. Okay, that one's not going to work for orbital, so throw a bomb in there, throw a second bomb in there. When you're fighting an Isaac and your damage is kind of dreck, throw a bomb in there. Throw a bomb in there. Oh, you got me, dude. I don't think I need it, but he's got me. Dude, Dark Bomb, thank you so much for your help. I couldn't have done this without you. Sincerely. Looks like we're going to come away with the W here. Scary run, but hey, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. Oh, what? Wait, Isaac now holds the D6. The chest is now unlocked? That sounded like a scripted moment. It genuinely was not. I thought that this run was over. We have to take Thunder Thighs, I think. Hopefully it's not too much of a speed down. It's like an enormous speed down. But number one... Oh, number one actually does nothing for us because it doesn't adjust the tier cap. Parasitoid Tears is lovely, but I'm very wary about our chances here on the chest. But at the same time, we have lived down here, or lived to get down here, so now anything could happen. But I think that we will probably die. I'm gonna give it the, you know, the old college try, though. Yeah, okay, I shot every bomb directly into myself. Okay. Lived through that, somehow. Just keep him guessing. Just keep him guessing. Nicely done. Look around extremely quickly for a possible secret room. No secret room. Makes me a very unhappy boy. We barely got out of the way there. Throw a bomb down. It missed. We almost got tagged again. And we're back. I don't think he's going to pay out there either. He paid out! Work with me here, buddy. Work with me. We're on a 50-minute video here. And I'm not looking... How do they say it these days? I'm not finna lose this one, okay? Bit of a cringe-worthy moment, but you know what? I lean into the cringe. If you lean into the cringe, it's not awkward. It's confident. Probably. I don't know. Emperor? Fool? That's like the opposite of the Emperor. It could get us out of a bad dead end that we didn't see coming. Holy... Oh! I was like, holy crap, we did it. And then, decidedly, we did not do it. You gotta kill Gluttony last here. Are you kidding me? It's like the angriest spiders of all time. Whatever, we don't need all of these bombs. Step one here is like kill this guy before the other guy becomes a problem. Nice. Alright, rinse and repeat now. Not quite dead. That was scary. Shouldn't have done that dodge. No HP, that's fine. This is a room where we should not die. Like, if we die against Gertie, we've made some mistakes. Joker? 2 of hearts. What am I supposed to... I was hoping we could, like, Joker into an Abaddon or something like that, but you're really gonna leave me... Oh, you're gonna leave me right next to the boss room is what you're gonna leave me. I would really like to kill, the virus-giving enemy who was Lust last, but he was chasing us down, and I didn't like our odds. So, I compromised my ideals. We made it through the room. Please be full of red hearts. Ooh, well, give you 1 cent. Okay. Okay, no? Thank God for the goat hoof, man. So we're just gonna try to hold it as steady as possible here. Our life is better, you know, the further away we get from Blue Baby. He's in a persistent state of slowness, which is really good for me. I guess that's Parasitoid Tears working its magic. I'm not used to a Blue Baby fight that's A, this long, or B, this serious, though. I will say, at the present moment, until he moves, we can't be hit. We're doing almost... What?! I'm cheesed. I'm sorry, guys. I hate to use the C word, but I'm real cheesed right now. That was... I got a little too close, and his shot got a speed boost. What, does it have a jet-propelled engine in it? For now, though, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. I'm still pleased with this run, in its own way.